Don't we just hate those work politics? Welcome back to another episode of Who Got the Aux. My previous episode, I talked about my first time cruising on the Carnival cruise for the Super Bowl. Be sure to check that out if you haven't already. This episode, I wanted to discuss the work politics, the brown nosing, the snitching, all that other stuff that goes on at work. And I know what they say, don't hate the player, hate the game, right? Well, this episode is hating the game because I don't know if it's gotten worse from the stories I've heard, because everybody's about getting that bag, everybody's about getting that dollar now, so people are just doing worse and worse and worse things to get ahead. But it has to stop. It has to stop. I'll get right into it. The people, and if this is you, you don't have to tell me, and I'm not offending you because I don't know who I'm talking to. That's the rules. But let this episode be the driving force for you to change the way you approach going to work, right? Let me be that driving force for you. The first issues are the people who plot outside of work to do grimy, shady things inside of work, right? Most of us, I don't know, I'll speak for myself. I work my 8 hours. I clock out. I was going to say I go home, but I work from home, and that's it. That's it. I'm not thinking about, tomorrow I'm going to send this email and get them in trouble. Or you know what? I'm going to sit at this desk and try to take this phone and try to, that there are people that do that. And for the life of me, I don't understand it. I don't want to understand it. Like, it's already enough being there for 8 hours. Again, most of us work at jobs we do not like, but we have to pay bills. So I'm already at a job that's not my passion. That's not the profession I would have liked to been in, but I'm doing what I have to do. The last thing I'm going to do is clock out of it and be talking about it and not be getting paid for it, or trying to plot against other people. And like, no. But that happens. If it sounds crazy to you, it's crazy, but it happens. There are people, and it's part of the game. That's why I'm saying I'm acknowledging I'm hating the game because it's a game. Work is a game. It's not about who works the hardest. It's not about who works the smartest. It's a mix of both. Like, you got to, hang with higher ups, be in this office when you need to, this cubicle, go to this lunch, go to this after hours occasion. It's a game. I completely understand it. I promise you, I'm not talking to you from an ignorant standpoint and nothing's bothering me. I'm speaking, a lot of stuff I speak about is from other people's perspective. So nobody's coming at me that I know of because I usually check shit right at the front door, black and white. If my name is in your email or your mouth, I will come to you directly and we're going to get to the bottom of it. That's just how I move. That's how I've always moved. But I hear a lot of stories from a lot of people where, people just, they do things like, people wearing certain stuff at work. Like, oh, we're all going to wear this and not tell certain people. It's just like, just do it. Like, why? Or you come talk to somebody else or invite this person for lunch, but the person next to him, you don't say nothing, or saying with a potluck. It's just all those little politics that goes, and potlucks are the worst. Potlucks are the worst. If it's one thing I'm happy about that I'm not working in the office, are the potlucks. Let me clarify. I love potlucks. Potlucks are amazing. You don't have to work. People bring food. You get to know your teammates and your team, and everybody kind of let loose and be cool when it goes that way, right? But most of the time, it's you're trying to see who brought something. And if they only brought a little bit, oh, they eating all that. You whispering behind. Did you see such and such eating all the food? He or she only brought this or that. Or they didn't bring anything. Or I said I was bringing the rice and then they brought rice. Now we got 2 rices. Try my rice. Don't try their. That's work potlucks. Those are work potlucks. And it's just unnecessary drama that gets created out of something that should be as innocent as a potluck. So that's one of the first ones, are the people, to wrap that first one up. If you are one of those people who are outside of work, plotting and planning to sabotage somebody inside of work, stop it. Stop it. I'm hating the game. There are other ways to make it, to grow or whatever without being grimy. But, being grimy is easy, so a lot of people do it. I understand. Next, snitching. Come on now. We ain't from the streets, right? But we know what happens to snitches, right? How you snitching at work? How are you snitching at work? Again, your game. I'm sure that's your game, right? You snitch, you tell on everybody, and you become a ear or a mouthpiece. You get the ear of your leadership, and they know that they can count on you, that you're their little weasel and their little mole. If that's what you want to do and that's your game, I'm hating it. Not you. I'm hating your game. You should not be snitching at work. You just shouldn't. You shouldn't be telling on other adults at work. Now, just like I compare snitching in real life, I compare it. If you are doing your job and someone else does something and it messes something up and it looks like you did it, but they did it. No, you clarify that. No. That wasn't me. That was them. That's not snitching. I'm talking about you're minding your own business and you see people doing what they got to do. And whatever they're going to do has nothing to do with you, whether they leave off the clock or punch off the clock during a lunch, or they take some pens or pencils, or they sneak off and do something. If it's not going to affect you, shut your mouth. Mind your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, extreme examples, of course. That's what people like. If it's something dangerous, of course. You know, if it's dangerous, if you feel like somebody's life, or is it, of course, right? I'm talking the work stuff. Like such and such, they didn't do their work. Does it affect you? Huh? Yes. If somebody doesn't do something and that's going to add hours upon hours of work onto your desk, hey, do what you got to do. To me, that ain't snitching. Especially if that person ain't in contact with you and be like, hey, yo, just hold it down for me, blah, blah, blah. If they just moving on their own and then that affects your workload or whatever you got, tell away. But just snitching for no reason. Like, we are adults. You are an adult. Think about that. You are an adult snitching on other adults at your workplace. That don't even sound right. What part of the game is that? Stop doing that. Brown nosing, we've seen it. I'm hating the game. I have to say that every time because I know the game, and I'm going to keep repeating that. I know it's a game at work, but I'm still hating it. Brown nosing. No one likes to see that, bro. Again, same way you're an adult snitching at work, you're an adult brown nosing another adult. I think a lot of people get caught up in these titles at work. Oh, that's the supervisor. Oh, that's the director. That's another human being. That's it, man. That's it. That's it. To me, that's it. I think that's why I talk to higher ups. I've had meetings. I've had one-on like FaceTime, and I have conversations. It's because they're adults. They're a human being at the end of the day. I don't get caught up in the titles. And, oh my God, that's the director of our whole department. It's like no. And it probably works for me because I'm always on game. You know what I'm saying? I get some people who are effing off, and then it's like, oh, leadership coming. Let me get it together. Then I get that point, right? But if you're just kind of always consistently on point, then there's nothing you really have to do when leadership comes around. I'm not saying don't tidy up or try to present yourself because leadership is around. I'm not saying just be, dumbfounded about that. I'm talking about brown nosing to where you're just up this other human being's ass for a possible promotion or the better project or the time off. Like, no adult should be giving another adult their nose to put up their ass unless you're in a relationship and y'all into that stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't be like, I would be ashamed if my significant other was at work snitching and brown nosing. That's another thing too. How does that work when you're in a relationship and you're the snitch and the brown noser? Or like, how does that work? Like, you go home and tell, like, yeah, so the VP was coming. I was like, just nose all up the ass. Like, yeah, that's going to get me the promotion. Like, that can't be attractive, right? But who knows? Who knows? I'm hating the game, not the player. Brown nosing is whack. And then, of course, it's like we're all other coworkers like, oh, well, that person, somehow got promoted somehow. And again, that's the game. I respect it, but I'm hating on it at the same time. So, brown nose. And the last one is being lazy. Like, I know the younger generation is different, so I'm not even going to speak on the younger generation, but for like those of my generation, we all have that person at work that is full-blown lazy, right? And again, when it affects me is the issue. I guess I should put that with the lazy part. If you want to be lazy at work and watch TikToks all day and it doesn't affect me, you can watch TikToks all day. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Do what you got to do. It's when it affects me. A teammate and they're lazy and we're in a group and then, holidays or like now holiday weekend coming up and we all got to finish and, such and such didn't do it or called out. It's going to be a problem. But if it don't affect me, do your thing. But I never understood the laziness at work. And, maybe I'm bragging on myself, but I never understood it because, they're paying you to be there. Are they paying us what we think we are worth or what we are worth? Of course not, right? But you got to start somewhere and work your way up and maneuver and figure out what you want to do. But it's like you're here. Like if you don't want to work, just don't work. But I need the money. Just shut the hell up, right? You know what I'm saying? Or, hey, go sell drugs, right? If the corporate 9-to-5 life ain't for you, like you can't get out of bed and the money is slow and it gets taxed and they don't pay you enough, go sell drugs. Go be a rapper. Go be an entrepreneur. Go start a podcast. Go make a clothing line. Go do something else. But don't just sit there and accept the fact that you do not like this, but I'm going to show up and be the worst every day and then affect other people and put like, nah. We can't have that. We can't have that, man. You got to be better. You got to be better, man. So the takeaway from this that I want you to take away, if this is you, you can be anonymous. You don't have to say this. You don't have to get it. And I'm understanding as I wrap this episode up, I'm hating the game. I am admitting it. I am hating the game, not the player. To be a better person at work, maybe you're one of these people who you're like, everywhere I go, people just don't like me or they always against me. And blah, blah, blah. You're probably a brown noser, lazy, snitching, or doing petty things. It's probably one of those four. And people, you can recognize that at every job. Like, look at that person. He's blah, 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 da, da, da. Stop snitching. Stop brown nosing. Stop plotting on people outside of work. That one to me is number one. And I stop people. If we're outside of work, do not talk to me about work. Unless it's something that has to do with what we're talking about, I guess. Don't talk to me about work. One, definitely don't talk to me about work about no game plan to go sabotage. Like it's Friday at happy hour. You're like, oh, Monday, I'm going to go. Monday, what? It's Friday. I ain't thinking about Monday, especially at work. Think about tonight. Don't talk to me about don't do that. Stop doing that. You got to stop doing that, man. Let's make work great again, right? Let's make the workspace great again because people are ruining it, trying to get to the dollar, man. Again, hey, and if it's you, cool. Hey, and some people probably listen to this, like, hey, I'm winning with it. So forget you, man. I got my raise, my bonus. I'm making 6 figures, doing what I got to do. I don't, and that's the argument too. Some people say, I don't care about these people at work. I'm a snitch, do whatever, brown nose. I don't care about what y'all think. And that's fair. I have no argument against that because it's the same thing. Like, I say the same thing. I don't care what people think about what I do at work. I'm going to do what I do, what's comfortable with me and whatever I do. And if y'all don't like it, whatever the case may be, but it's different because, you try to be a team player to a certain point. Like for me, I'll participate in anything as long as it's not stretching me outside of what you're paying me and how you're promoting. Cause that's how I look at things. Like, bro, like that's a different episode, but try to be a better worker, man. If you don't do all three, if you want to keep snitching, keep brown nosing, and keep being lazy, at least stop making corny plans to bring into work. How about that? Maybe you can get back to having cool potlucks without everybody judging and measuring what everyone's doing. That being said, thank you for listening to another episode of Who Got the Aux, WhoGotTheAux.com, full audio only episodes, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Who Got the Aux, one word, subscribe, follow, Twitter, WhoGotTheAux_. Subscribe, follow, listen, comment. I also want to say we hit 200 subscribers on YouTube. Appreciate everybody. YouTube is hard, man, especially for how I do YouTube. I don't make the videos or the things. Like I talk and try to be logical. So to get to 200 in less than a year, not mad at that. So I appreciate everybody to subscribe. Be sure to tell a friend. And yeah, man, enjoy y'all holiday weekend. And I will see y'all at the next episode. I'm out of here.